Shalom, shalom. I'm start by giving honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Papadas. We want to say that our Apostle Greg Most on Blue, Tifa, Kazak, Shalom, T. Beltis, for his few sisters, tuning in, listening, and learning. And uh, just getting right into it. Title of the lesson, um, pretty much just going into, anti Yahawashi, um, anti meaning against or to be opposed or on the opposite side of, because we know that the Lord said everything too, one against the other, but pretty much, you know, that's how the Lord loveth, battle. The scriptures talk about that, the Lord being a man of war, you know, uh, but without further ado, we're gonna get right into the scriptures. Um, let's get right into the scriptures. This is this is First John, chapter 4, and verse 3. It says, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world. So while Yahushua was going through, teaching in the midst of, the various cities around the time of Rome, you know, um, there was many uh, 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 perverse spirits, that was against the spirit of prophecy, the spirit that Yahushua was coming in, the spirit of truth. It says, and even now already is it in the world, right? So yeah, that Yahushua was speaking in that verse as present tense, saying that spirit of anti, Mashiach, which where Christ and Mashiach just means anointed, or the anointed one. He was pretty much saying like that spirit is here now, man. Having people that's against the doctrine, people around that's against the doctrine. Had various Pharisees and Sadducees who was against, what he was doing. You had pretty much that spirit was out there, man, and it's here today. You know, it says, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. It says, right, right, because hey, once again, you got that spirit today. The Virgin Mary doctrine. Claiming that Yahusha, was born but not, pretty much of an angel. It says, and every spirit that confesses not that Yahusha is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. Right, right. It says, that confess. It says, and every spirit that confesses not that Yahusha is come in the flesh. Right. So Yahusha had come in the flesh. Right. You according to that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. You know, pretty much dealing with how Solomon was likened unto men. You can acquaint it to what's that scripture talking about how it behooves him that he should be made like unto his brethren. You know, Yahushua came in the flesh, man. Birth through sex, man. You see, but you got some that claim that he didn't, come in a fleshly manner. That Virgin Mary doctrine, him ascended from heaven as an angel. That's not a fleshly manner. Angels are celestial. When you come in a human stead, you are terrestrial. You know, so Yahushua came in instead of being terrestrial, not celestial. But now he is celestial. Through dealing with the imperfections of the flesh that one last time in the ancient Roman Empire. Now, what I mean, he have overcame the flesh. It says It says, "Ye are of Yahweh little children, and have overcome them." Right? Yeah, and we have overcome. Lord's one with those men. We have overcome. You know, um, pretty much not giving heed to seducing doctrines, devils, or seducing spirits. These several doctrines, man. That don't really add up. To the truth of Yahawashi Shah. Right? Because like the scriptures talk about, like, if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, man. You know, but it's not possible because the Lord got a hedge of protection, against the doctrine of against his tabernacle, man. Against his temple, you know. But this is the book of let me go. This book of John, chapter 13. Matter of fact, let me go to it. Let me see. For a second. This is the book of Second John, um, chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, "For many deceivers are entered into the world." Right? And Lord got a lot of spirits on the earth right now. What is it, like 8 trillion or something like that? Um, 8 trillion people on the earth right now. But in the midst of that, the Lord got specific elect, man, who he made that was going to, come to the understanding of His truth. You know, it says, "For many deceivers are entered into the world." Many deceivers, man, more than not. It says, "Who confess not that Yahushua is come in the flesh." Right? Who confess not that Yahushua came. Um. Uh. Okay. Shalom. Shalom. Confess not that Yahushua came in the flesh, man. That they came in the flesh during the ancient Roman Empire, rose from the dead. In his immortal body. Waiting for his elect, right? Or waiting for Yahushua, for Yahweh to give him the say so. It says to deliver his elect. It says, "For many deceivers are entered into a world who confess that Yahushua is come in the flesh." This is a deceiver and an antichrist, right? So it says this is a deceiver and an antichrist. Once again, that word anti going into opposite or to be against. So all of those spirits that's opposite and against, they pretty much spirits of deceit, man. Which we know, in St. John, the scriptures talk about the Lord having a spirit of truth, is that spirit of comfort. You know, um, this is First John chapter 2 and verse 22. It says, "Who is a liar?" Right? When you go into that word deceit, it means pretty much going to like being fraudulent or to be a liar. You know, it says, "Who is a liar, but he that denieth that Yahushua is Mashiach, man." That Yahushua is anointed, right? Because who is Yahweh's anointed, man? Who is the Lord's anointed? Is it you know God sent comforter? Is it you know is it Jesus Christos? Is it you know what I mean? you know what I mean, Allah. You know, we have to understand who the Lord's anointed actually is, man. You know, and the scriptures go into that. Who the Lord's anointed is. Let's see, brothers got peace. Show I'm not trying to shut up the phone to everybody in the comments. Okay, this is a good one. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, and I'm starting verse 5. It says, for unto the angels have he not put subjection. It says, for unto the angels have he not put in subjection the world to come, wherefore we speak. But one in a certain place testified, saying, what is man that thou art mindful of him? Or the Son of Man that thou visitest him? Thou madest him a little lower than the angels, right? Once again, proving that Yahawashi came in the flesh, because you only have one and the other, which is the terrestrial bodies, like the scripture talk about. The terrestrial and celestial bodies, like the scripture talk about in the book of First Corinthians, chapter 15. You know, around like verse 50, 50 verses. You know, but I'm gonna read that one more time. It says, but one in a certain place testifies. No, it's like verse 7. It says, thou madest him, talking about Yahushua, a little lower than the angels, right? So how did Yahushua, come, birthed of angels, you know, when the scriptures talk about how he was made a little lower than the angels, that don't add up, you know. It says, thou madest him a little lower than the angels, thou crownest him with glory and honor. Right, and that glorious honor, talking about him being in a power seat now. Matter of fact, goes to that in the next verse. It says, and didst set him over the works of thy hand. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet. Right? Even the angels now, man, that he made in that immortal body. He got angels under his feet now, under his command, But, the point being, he came in the form of a man, in the flesh, to be able to accomplish these things, you see? Um, but going back into that, Antichrist, right? This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, and verse 22. It says, for it says, matter of fact, I started 21. It says, and then if any man shall say to you, lo, here Yahusha, it says, here Yahusha, or lo, here is it here's or he is there, believe him not. All right, so if a man say, oh, Yahusha is there, or Yahusha is here, or I am Yahusha, or Yahusha is that man, all right? It says, believe him not. It says, for false Hamashiachs and false prophets shall rise, right? And once again, that word prophet means to say before, so, a false prophet meaning a man who gonna tell you, something that happened before, but it's actually being false. A man might tell you that ain't gonna be no nuclear ICBM missiles that's gonna, touch down on Babylon the Great. That's a false prophet, man. A man gonna tell you, ain't gonna be no Jacob's trouble. That's a false prophet. A man gonna tell you, you know, the Mashiach that's gonna come. His name is, Jesus, Jesus Christos. You know what I mean? That's a false prophet, man. It says, and then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Hamashiach, or lo, here is there, he is there, Salaki, believe him not, for false Hamashiachs and false prophets shall rise, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Right, so it's going to show like it's going. He was pretty much saying like it's going to be so many, like in those times, there's going to be so many people coming instead of Hamashiach or being that anointed one, that if it were possible, they would see the very elect. And it says signs and wonders. It goes into like these various breakdowns that these guys make seem accurate with smooth words. It might sound, it might, like, once again, like you always, whenever you have a truth, it always got a little bit of lie in there. Those type of, men, you know, these Edomites, these damn devils coming up with all these different inventions, but also, these jakes out here, completely butchering the true doctrine of Yahawashi Shah. Um, it says, for false Mashiachs and false prophets shall rise, and we see that today they are risen. You got these different camps coming out here with all these perverse doctrines, man. All these different type of doctrines. But they got all these followers and stuff. People who entertain by what they communicate. That they're risen, man. It says, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Right, and once again, you do got brothers, future Hamashiachans in the midst of these different camps, man. This is but take heed. It says, but take ye heed. Behold, I have foretold you all things. Right, and the Lord warned us, man. So now we resting upon that warning. That the spirit of truth and comfort. We rest upon that. Knowing that the Lord warned us that this was going to happen in the first place, and now we're seeing it. With our own eyes and with our own ears. We go into this word adversary and etymology. It says unfriendly. It says opponent, enemy, hostile, opponent, rival, hostile, to turn back. Right. And these perverse spirits are adverse, man. They're hostile to the Lord. They're opponents to the Lord, because if you're not with the Lord, then what are you? You're against the Lord. You can't. Once we say this all the time, there is no gray line. You are against the Lord, or you are on the opposite side. You are opposing side of the Yahawashi. It says hostile to turn back. Right, and there is a turning back from Yahawashi. You know, there is a turning back from the spirit of truth. You see, going into that spirit of falsehood. It's a lot of it. You know, it's a lot of it. You see, it says to turn back. Turn back from what? That the actual way that the Lord requires to be in. The spirit way. You see, it says verses, right? Matter of fact, no, it's like it says it says to turn back. When you get that word add, pretty much adverse, um, means to like multiply, right? And when you get the word versus, it says denoting action of one party against another, right? So, one party against another, one group of people against another. It says turned. It says turn toward or against, right? So that's what you're doing when you are, anti a Mashiach. You are turned against, the actual, uh, 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 Hamashiach. The actual Hamashiach, man. You're against it. Plain and simple. Um, gonna get some closing precepts. Oh, Christians and Pharisees. Let's go to Psalms chapter. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord. Right. There we go with that word against, right? And I put this precept because really all this controversy against the Lord is coming from the heads, man. You know, the current kings, man. You know, the Lord has set them in their power, so that you would have that adversity spirit against His truth, because the Lord is once again, the Scripture talk about that the Lord is a man of war. So really it all stems, that from it really all stems from the serpent. You know, but now we see it, spread forth as an enormous branch, of death, man, and sin and iniquity. You see, that's against Yahawashi Shah, and it's gonna be proven when the Lord destroys that, right? It says the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord. All right, adversaries. It says, and against the anointed, right? Hamashiach, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision, because the Lord know who is about to win this battle against the adversary of Mashiach and Mashiach himself, because he already won. What is Yahawashi doing now? Sitting in the power seat, controlling everything. You know, so that's the laughing. They're gonna be made of every single adversary, man, gonna be made a laughing stock. In that day, the Lord gonna laugh at them. You know, this was Psalm chapter 74 in verse Psalm chapter 74 verse 10. It says, "O Yahweh, by Hashem Yahshua, how long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever?" Right? He was asking, in the Psalms, how long is we gonna have adversaries, man? Who are set over, you know, you know, which should be in a power seat, man, right? It says, Yahweh Shah, how long shall the adversary reproach? Because the current kings that we have now, they are still set against, the spirit of Yahweh Shah, thinking that they can offset prophecy, you know, even setting up wicked jakes, man, you know, and to do to do that their bidding, like just like they did in the ancient times, you know, you know, First Maccabees chapter 1, like around verse 12 to 14, setting up wicked jakes, who will push that, image of, helping push that image of anti-Mashiach, you know. It says, it says, uh, it says, oh Yahweh Shah, how long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever? Why withdrawest thou of thy hand, even thy right hand? Pluck it out of thy bosom. Um, for Yahweh Bashan is my king of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth, right? And the Lord is truly working salvation, saving us from that spirit of anti-Hamashiach, not only in doctrine, but also, in the physical, He will deliver us, you know, from that spirit and from this flesh, which is like pretty much companion to that spirit, you know. Got one more precept and I'm gonna close out. Let's see what this guy. Brother, that's beautiful. Okay, Con. It says this is the book of Psalms, chapter 148. This book of Psalms, chapter 148, and verse 9. It says it says, let me make sure it's right. I'm slacking 143. This book of Psalms, chapter 143, and verse 9. It says, deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies, right? I flee unto thee to hide me. Right? Just gonna talk about that. The name of the Lord being a strong tower. And that's how these men are truly the enemies. Start with the heathen. These men are truly the enemies of Yahawashi Shah. Just gonna talk about that. The name of the Lord is dreadful unto the heathen. So these secret counsels against the Lord, they ultimately, because really they're against the nation of Israel, but ultimately they're against the Lord, man. Against his word of prophecy. It says, deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. And that's what we do. We hide behind this word of truth, man. That's our defense. The spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. It says, teach me to do thy will, for thou art my power. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Um, it says, quicken me, O Lord, for thy name's sake. Right, for the name of the Lord's sake, this has to happen. Prophecy has to happen for thy name's sake. And that's what we're doing. We're pushing the spirit of prophecy once again. It says, quicken me, O Lord, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake. Bring my soul out of trouble, and of thy mercy cut off mine enemies. All right. It says, and of thy mercy cut off mine enemies. That's part of the deal of the Lord's salvation. Cutting off, the anti-Hamashiach. That's part of our salvation. All of Yahushua's enemies, right? It says, it says, and of thy mercy, cut off my enemies and destroy all them that afflict my soul, for I am thy servant. So Lord's willing us edifying through why you wish to give me a spirit of blessing. Mashanakabala is a furniture offered Darwakab, which is getting done to the other possible greatness because until next time I say Shalom wa Abba Baba. Shalom.